Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hello, and if you've been here before, then welcome back. So for today's video I thought I'd do a Q&A. I feel like I haven't done a Q&A for such a long time, and I just thought it'd be nice to do another one. So obviously I did put up a post on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram I will link it down below here for you. I posted a post up on my Instagram and quite a few of you posted in some questions, so yeah, I'm just gonna read them out and answer them. So I'm just going to pop onto my Instagram and I'm literally just going to read them off in like no particular order. It is literally just going to be as they come. So I've literally got all the responses here. So I'm literally just going to go, I'm going to go bottom from top, I think. So the first question that I got was, what do you find are your best coping mechanisms for anxiety? Okay, so you guys will know that obviously I have spoke about this. To me it's not a taboo, like I feel like it's easier to talk about these things, but obviously I am a anxiety sufferer. It's kind of hard because I have quite a few, but I find that I have to make sure that I meditate. I know it sounds really like strange, but for me meditating maybe once or twice a day really does help me, because it helps me to control my breathing when I feel like I'm about to have an anxiety attack. I literally, like, I struggled for years to try and figure out a way that's going to work for me and to sort of get my anxiety under control, and at the beginning of lockdown I tried an app called Calm, and honestly it really did change the way that I thought about things and how I can control my anxiety levels. So literally first thing in the morning I will do a breathing exercise, and then before bed I will tune into a class, as they call them. It teaches you how to zone out and really feel into your emotions of your body, and I think that's the best one for me. That's like the best coping mechanism for me, because when I feel like I'm about to have an anxiety attack, I know then that that is when my breathing, I need to stop and literally zone out and literally do my breathing exercises, and it really does help to calm me down. It doesn't always help fully, but it stops me from going into a full attack. There's a couple of other things that work for me, like going on walks, having a set routine I definitely think really helps me as well, and doing things that I enjoy doing, that can really help as well. The next question is, there is quite a few about lockdown, so I think we'll go through all of them. How did you deal with being in lockdown? We knew it was going to happen at some point, but I don't think we were fully prepared for like the full extent of the situation. I struggled so bad at the beginning of lockdown, I cannot tell you. I really struggled. But as the weeks went on, I kind of come to realise, as much as like a shitty situation it was, it really put into perspective of the time that I never had before and all the time that I had now to do the things that I didn't have time to do before, if that makes sense. So we dealt with it quite well. Summer also took it in her stride. But I think we as like a couple and as a family, we really did just cope with it every day the best way that we could. It was a struggle, don't get me wrong, there were some good days, bad days, but it really did open our eyes and make us see that we do take a lot of things for granted. But yeah, we dealt with being in lockdown quite well. The next question, how did lockdown affect you and your family? So if we're talking about me, James and Summer. Obviously both me and James were furloughed and Summer was off school, and she still is until September. So that was kind of a big hit, not having a job to go to. My job was cut sooner than what James's was because obviously he does a lot of outdoor work. So obviously they didn't then close for another week or so after we officially went into lockdown, whereas I work in a cafe, so that was literally shut down completely, literally just like that. In regards to like my bigger family, like my parents and my siblings and stuff, so my mum and dad were working throughout the whole of the lockdown, and so was my older sister. They still had to work through it, and my older sister obviously has a young child, so that was quite scary. Her partner was obviously furloughed, and my younger sister as well, she was also furloughed because obviously their jobs weren't deemed as essential at the time. But it definitely affected us all in different ways. We're now starting to ease out the lockdown and people's jobs. Not everyone's jobs are safe, but it's safe to say that everyone in my family still have their jobs, which obviously I'm grateful for. And I can safely say, like, I am so proud of my mum and my dad and obviously my older sister for obviously being the key workers and being part of a bigger group of key workers that was basically keeping our country afloat. So obviously thank you to everyone that was a key worker and still is a key worker, for, you know, keeping us afloat and obviously risking your lives to keep us going. What would you do if we would go back to being in lockdown? If we were to go back into lockdown, which I know could be a possibility, absolutely, I think I'd go stir crazy. I really do, because I mean it's difficult because I know it'd be happening for the right reasons. I understand that, but from a selfish point of view, like, I live in a flat, and honestly, being in lockdown has been the worst thing. So when we first went into the lockdown, we had some absolutely beautiful weather, and you were only allowed out for an hour a day if you didn't have a garden, and it was just horrendous being stuck in and seeing the same four walls every single day and not being able to just go sit in the garden with just our little family. Like, we couldn't do that. We were stuck in. And I know that sounds really selfish. I know a lot of people were in the same situation, but I just feel like I kind of felt for everyone that's in a flat that doesn't have a garden, if you know what I mean. I think I'd go stir crazy, but I know it'd be for the right reasons then. So if we were to go back into lockdown, I'd probably lose my mind. What did you do during lockdown? So, obviously not much, because not many of us could do much during lockdown. But obviously when we were allowed out to do the exercise, and then when it got eased, so that obviously you could spend longer outdoors, you can have unlimited time outdoors. Me and James, obviously when we didn't have Summer, because Summer's not a big walker, she just really doesn't like it. She doesn't mind going like for a walk into town and obviously by the river and whatever. But me and James, we found some really, really beautiful walks to go on, and it's crazy because I've pretty much lived in Tewkesbury my whole life from about the age of 4. And James has lived in Tewkesbury, I'm pretty sure, his whole life, minus a couple of months when he was born, I think. And we discovered walks that we never knew were even there, and I think it just made us realise like how actually beautiful our town is, as much as we complain about it. And, you know, as you do, like, when you've lived somewhere for so long, obviously you just see it as it's just a town, like, it's just going to crap basically. But when you venture further, you find some really, really hidden beautiful walks that we never really knew were there. So that is something that we tried to do a lot, was to try and go on a walk every day when we could, if we didn't have Summer, or if we did have Summer, we'd just go for a walk down by the river, just to obviously make sure we got our exercise in. So that was pretty much all we did throughout of lockdown, was just obviously go for our walks and try and find something new where we live, so that is what we did in lockdown. Has lockdown been hard on your mental health? It had been very, very difficult. Obviously, when you suffer with anxiety and depression, when something happens like this, it really knocks you for six, whether you're in a good place or, you know, you're not doing so great. I literally went into full meltdown and protective mode during lockdown. I had no routine. I couldn't go to the shops because I was convinced that if I went out I'd get it and I'm gonna die. My main priority was protecting Summer and obviously the people around me because I didn't want them getting it. And you just think about all the bad things, and it just sent me into a downward spiral. Like, I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't even want to go outside. Like, I just didn't feel like I had a purpose to get up. I just thought, this is it. Like, this is how we're all gonna die, basically. And I know that sounds horrible, but it was a really, really big strain at the beginning for me. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Like, it was a massive, massive struggle for me. But as the weeks went on, and obviously meditating and using the tools that I had to make sure that I could manage it better, it's definitely got a lot better. I think that's all the ones about lockdown. So there's a couple of other ones that I'm just gonna go ahead and answer. How do you deal with difficult situations in a relationship? So one thing I have found is you have to talk to each other, because if you don't, then the other person, one, doesn't know what's happening. They don't know where you stand. And I found that not saying anything in a situation and keeping it bottled up is literally like a recipe for disaster, because you don't say anything and then maybe other little things happen, or one of you does something so little, and something that was supposed to be so little and it's just petty ends up being something huge, and then like you just literally burst. So I think when it comes to a difficult situation in a relationship, I now talk about it and we try and resolve the situation. I think the best thing to do in a difficult situation in a relationship is talk it through. Don't keep it bottled up. What would you do if your boyfriend cheated? I don't really have to go into this much, but it would be see you later. That's all I'm saying. But for me, I know it's easier said than done, but it would literally be like, see you later, like, nah, not happening. Moving on to a couple of fun ones. What's your favourite makeup style? So, to be honest, I don't really have a favourite makeup style, not gonna lie, because I just love every kind of makeup look. But if I had to choose one, I feel like I can narrow it down to two looks that I really like. So I like the subtle glam looks, like today, but then I also do like my bright festival kind of inspired makeup looks as well. So I don't really have one. I have like quite a few, but I've definitely, I don't know, I feel like I've definitely swayed more towards the more like subtle glam rather than the out there bright colourful sort of standout. So yeah, I'd probably say subtle glam is probably my favourite makeup look. What are your goals for the rest of the year? So my goals for the rest of this year is obviously to launch my business and the products, and to reach 500 subscribers on YouTube. If you could pick just one place in the world to live, where would it be? So I was literally having this conversation with James in the car yesterday, and I said, if I was thinking practical, there's two that we would, which we narrowed it down to. So if I was thinking practical, I would love to go live in somewhere like Australia or New Zealand. I don't know, I just feel like there's a better way of life over there. Not saying that there's anything wrong with ours, But I just feel like there's so many more opportunities over there than there is here. But they always do say that if you stay in your hometown and then you move further afield, there is always more opportunities there for you. If I was thinking like unpractical, it would probably be somewhere like Greece or Spain or somewhere like that. But I think the one place that I'd probably like to live would be either, well, if I had it my way, it would be New Zealand. But if James had his way, it'd probably be Australia. But yeah, I think if I was being practical, it would be New Zealand would be the one place that I would love to live in the world. So that is all the questions. I want to say thank you to obviously everyone that sent in questions for me to answer. I really do hope that it helped. I've probably not made any sense and rambled so much. But yeah, thank you for sending them in. If you don't follow me on social media, then obviously I will link my Instagram below in the description box down below, so that if I ever do one of these again or you want to take part in other videos, then you can go ahead and do that on my Instagram. But yeah, I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please don't forget to smash the thumbs up, click the subscribe button, because your support means the world to me, and I would really, like I said, like to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. But for now, that is it from me, and I'll see you in a brand new video very soon. Bye.